Okay, well, let me just kind of run down the list, the way I've divided stuff up for what people are going to do tomorrow.
Do we have a time that we stop taking surgery patients?
Yeah, it varies.
We just keep doing it till they stop coming?
Well, surgeons fall over with broken backs. That goes to surgery, that goes to receiving. Alright, this thing weighs a ton. At least one need to work. That's all anesthesia stuff.
Surgery's over here and over here. So we need both like that, like here and here.
There are a variety of personalities here. I think there are a group of people, though, that in general all march to the beat of a different drummer. I think it takes somebody that has a lot of energy and a lot of dedication to animal well-being. I mean, I think that those are the prerequisites.
I think the whole group works well as a whole because there's so many different people that can do so many different things. I mean, we've got farriers, we've got people that are just, have been technicians for a long time. We have people that can do all different types of things.
The way that the clinic is run is phenomenal. It's so organized. Everybody works together as a team wonderfully, and I was really impressed by that.
The grassroots approach is attractive. I think that it keeps us extremely efficient. I mean, for the amount of money that we have, we get a heck of a lot of stuff done, and that's sort of a remote area medical mission. There's not a lot of expense and effort involved. I mean, we did 85-some surgeries out of the back of a pickup the first time we did this. It's not expensive or difficult.
Great. They could take it out to feed and let him drink some water. I don't know, it must have got to the fight with the
Nobody knew how the young stray had managed to survive the winter. She couldn't believe it herself. But then a week ago, she had somehow lucked into a family.
I'm straight all winter.
When the intake lady asked her name, her new mom said,
Sacagawea,
which was news to her. Her new dad wanted to put down Coyote Shepherd on the form, but the intake lady just laughed and wrote Collie Mix.
You just got him, son, right?
At first, she looked like a lot of the dogs we saw running loose on the reservation. A little wild, very woolly, and always watchful. A week of 3 squares a day had put a little meat on her bones, but she still had the scared, raggedy look of a stray. Up close, though, she was surprisingly quiet and trusting. And she put up with the indignities of the intake process without even a whimper. She turned out to be in pretty good condition, all things considered, so she was cleared for spaying. The worst part of the whole process has to be the pre-med. This is the sedative injected to calm the animal before surgery. Luckily, there's always lots of sympathy around. While the sedative takes effect, other members of the team ready themselves for the surgery. Student anesthetists check and double-check anesthesia lines, and the third-year students who volunteered to perform this first surgery turn their attention to scrubbing and suiting up. Just about everything RAM uses is donated, so every now and then an unfamiliar item can cause a few moments of confusion.
Yep. Pull. You'll be all right. Okay, give this to me. Go that, spin that way. No, other way, other way. Okay, now take the cloth part out.
This thing is kind of like
Plastic.
Nothing in her life up to this point can possibly have prepared Sacagawea for the next step in the process, the anesthesia mask. We can only guess at what's going on in her mind as the team closes in to put her under. Everybody seems friendly enough, but what on earth are they up to? To put it simply, the anesthesia takes as long as it takes, and that takes patience. Nothing but nothing can rush the process as the team brings each animal down slowly and carefully. Her reflexes are checked periodically to judge how deeply she's under. Nothing else will happen till finally the student anesthetist says the animal's completely out. Now everybody moves fast. The trach tube that will be used to keep her under during the surgery is quickly inserted. And then it's time for a shave. Since the electric razor and the vacuum hose used to clean up after it are both pretty loud, it's easy to see why the team waits until the animal's out cold to shave her. Gently, the young dog is lifted and carried to the table where her spaying will take place. Quickly, she's prepped and disinfected by many pairs of hands, coming together in a cooperative way that will be repeated again and again until she's ready to go home. Students, technicians, and vets working side by side, tirelessly. The watchful vets keep a close eye on the student members of the RAM team, taking every opportunity to offer advice and support during each stage of the surgical process.
Instead of making a hole and dissecting a big area and then looking for it, just use that attachment to find the living.
During a tricky moment in the procedure, the assisting student moves aside for more experienced hands. When the surgery is finished, the incision and the fur surrounding it are carefully cleaned.
Rough around the edges, honey.
The table where surgery took place is needed for the next patient, so Sacagawea is carried to the recovery area. When she's judged ready to breathe on her own, the trach tube is removed. And now comes the hard part. Well, for our sleepy friend anyway. Time to wake up. She was under for quite a while, so the RAM team wants Sacagawea to wake up, just about as much as she'd prefer to catch a few more Z's. In the meantime, the volunteers work flat out to keep up with a constant flow of new patients. The intake area begins to fill up. As soon as one name is crossed off the roster, another is added as animals and their owners await the intake process. The anesthesia still remaining in Sacagawea's system has left her pretty woozy, so she's going to need at least an hour to come around. Till then, lots of rubs and pats are offered, both for reassurance and to encourage her breathing to stay strong and steady.
Oh, that's fine.
When her mother comes for her, Sacagawea is still a little woozy, but very happy to be out of her holding cage.
Wait a little while, and then you can give her a little water, and then a small amount.
As she's cleared for release from the clinic, an intake volunteer goes through the standard list of post-operative do's and don'ts. And when it's time to go home, Sacagawea lets it be known that she'd really prefer to be carried. And she gets no argument from her new mom, who, like all good mothers, knows that sometimes a little babying is just the ticket. So Sacagawea, the first successful patient of many this day, leaves with a new chance in life. Vaccinated and spayed, she's left the life of the reservation stray, left the illness, the starvation, and the pain of too many puppies to care for.
She was trying to put the cat into the car, and two dogs chased the cat up into a tree. What I have is called a wildlife wrangler service. I went about 25 foot up in the air. And the wind was not helping any, that's for sure. I'm interested in medicine and the challenge. When when I knew I could get her down to a safe distance, that an owner could grab her and hold her, then I would be okay. It would be safer for me and for the cat.
Most of my veterinary practice career was done in a remote community where there was a large Indian reservation. We, used whatever was at our disposal to take care of as many animals as we possibly could. So I have, if you will, a graduate degree in this sort of activity.
It's nice to see now that we've come back, and some of the people that have came back, like the first ram trip, I'm starting to recognize them, and I'm starting to recognize their animals, and so they trust us, and that makes me feel good. They trust us enough to keep bringing our animals back and getting them revaccinated, and getting them spayed, and getting them neutered, and it just makes me think I'm doing just a little, not a whole lot, but just a little bit to help out.
Well, I'm here because I think it's a really good cause, and it's the population of animals is just, pets in particular, is just out of control, and these animals don't have a chance out here. And if we can kind of cut the population, I think that they can get better care.
One young girl took a real interest in what we were doing. She spent the whole day here. She didn't have to spend the whole day here, but she spent the whole day here, and she assisted us getting different instruments and getting sutures and things like that. And in talking to her, she said that she wanted to be a medical doctor when she grew up. And it's obvious, things like this, you can see the sparkle in their eyes whenever something like this project and what we're doing really interests them, and that's the neatest thing to me.
It's an easy way for me to volunteer my time to be able to do something for somebody else as a specialty. And then it's like, the students, and I always tell all the vets that start coming out here, I'm like, you'll be impressed. You'll be so impressed with the students, their abilities to work together. I mean, if you took, if you took 30 students from one class and put them all in this condition, there's no way, people would work this well together, and everybody works hard.
The best possible impact for the reservation would be to make people more aware of their pets, that they are another being on this planet, and hearing, that we have to take care of our animals. They are part of our Creator, and in the Indian tradition, the dog was, and the animals are very sacred because they know a lot more than we do, and they've been here longer than we have.
We loaded up Isla and I and another veterinarian from the large animal clinic at UT and 3 students into my crew cab Ford pickup and put all the equipment in the back and drove the Rosebud, and that was a year ago, August, and that's how the whole thing got started. And we're successful enough that I felt it would be a complete waste of time and a complete failure if we just went up there and vaccinated and neutered a few animals and just said, well, gee, this is fun, we'll do it again sometime. And so that's why we've been on a regular, approximately 4-month schedule of servicing these reservations.
He's on 5. Busy time of year.